And I love the progressive vibe of this song, how it's like, it is really building, telling a story. It's not verse, chorus like most pop. It is a progression through this journey.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
Hey, Adam Mishan here, singer, songwriter, and vocal coach. I can't believe it's taken this long for me to get to Metallica. This is one of my favorite songs from them. Nothing Else Matters. I think the addition of the orchestra to, a metal song is amazing. It doesn't work for every metal song, but definitely for this styled metal song, it is very, very, it's like chilling. It really gives this beautiful impression and a totally different vibe to the song that is not there in the original. And I like how they did that. They, change it up. They're not afraid to be doing it with an orchestra.
If you want to see an uncut version of this video, check out the link in the description.
Wow, that opening guitar riff with the symphony is, it's heaven.
And nothing else matters.
So James is being very short with his lines. In the original, if I'm recalling correctly, he draws out the lines of the notes of each one. And nothing else matters, right? So he kind of draws it out. Also here, he's using a lowered larynx position. So that's how he gets that darker tonality, is by allowing his larynx to drop down more from the heart. So he's got that lowered larynx, not a more from the heart. So he's definitely not doing a higher larynx position. He's getting much more of his robust, full tone from that lowered larynx position. If you're interested in learning more on how to sing, I created a resource that I wish would have been around when I was starting to sing. With the subscription I've created, you get access to all of the courses that I've created and more that are coming. You get access to all of my private lesson recordings that I have from other students so you can learn vicariously through them. And you get monthly one-on-one lessons with me. All of this is available for one low monthly price, and it's a very well-rounded approach to learn how to sing. Click the link down below to get access now.
And nothing else matters.
His signature matters. That signature sound, he's actually toned that down a little bit. Normally, he's much more intense. And I think as the song progresses, he'll probably get more intense with that sound. But that is definitely a James Hetfield signature move. I don't think, as soon as you hear him, you know he's singing that because he's got that sound in his voice.
Every day for us something new.
His voice is so beautifully on pitch. It's incredibly on pitch, so much so that it sounds like it's kind of auto-tuned, but I'm pretty sure they didn't auto-tune this. So it just shows how good his pitch accuracy is, that he's just so on pitch.
And nothing else matters.
And I love the progressive vibe of this song, how it's like, it is really building, telling a story. It's not verse, chorus like most pop. It is a progression through this journey. That's what I really like about progressive metal, that it takes you through a journey as opposed to just being memorable and an earworm. That's not what it sets out to be. It sets out to be a musical journey. Another thing that is awesome about this is that we're about halfway through the song, maybe even a little bit more, and he's just once tapped into his rasp, but he's really allowing this build up to happen to be able to get into his high range, and when he goes into his high range, it's with a lot of that rasp. Nice. I really like those runs. Those runs are awesome. Like, he's not an R&B singer, but who says rock singers can't sing? Like, I remember back in the day when I was in a rock band, at least it was my idea that I had built up in my head that, like, as long as you sing rock, you don't have to be that good of a singer and you can get away with it, right? Like, you have, you know, singers that are not the best, Anthony Kiedis and, you know, other rock singers that are not Smashing Pumpkins, that are not the best singers, like vocalists, but they still were very, very successful. So I had in my mind that, you know, like when you sing rock, you don't really have to be that good. You don't have to have great technique. And that's part of what actually I resisted singing lessons for a while, because I'm like, I don't want them to change my sound. And like, I got a pure rock sound that I want to keep. And I mean, it was all kind of delusional, but because it sounded terrible. I sounded horrible. But definitely this shows that there are rock singers that are really, really good singers.
Every day for us, something new.
So he's probably the king of changing up vowels in the middle of a word. Even if it's not warranted within that word to change the vowel, he'll often move from much more narrower vowels into wider vowels. Oo to an ah or o to an ah. And that is part of his style, and that wah, that type of sound that he always does, almost like as the finisher of every line. Right there. So he's definitely not married to vowel consistency. That idea is definitely not matters. Right? So he's totally obliterating the vowel purity, but that's part of his style. That's part of what makes Metallica sound like Metallica. And, you know, you hear them and you know right away when you're listening to James Hetfield sing. So I remember being about, I don't know, like 15 years old and being introduced to this song through this solo right here. The drummer, I had a rock band when I was in high school, and the drummer of the rock band, he was a multi-instrumentalist. Isaac is his name. And he used to love to play this solo. And I would just hear this solo because he would be noodling around in between songs while we were practicing. And he would just always kind of go back to this solo and practicing it. And before I ever heard the song, I just heard this solo. So now this solo sticks out in my head so much. It brings back like some really nostalgic memories going back a long, long time. This is, I mean, one in my mind, it stands out as one of the most iconic rock solos. I mean, probably not for many people, but because of my experience and the nostalgia it brings, that's what it brings to mind. So I was kind of expecting him to go up the octave, but he kept it down the octave the entire time. An interesting choice. I'm wondering if it was a choice out of necessity vocally or just a choice because of the orchestral element here that's added. He wanted to keep it more on the lower and have, I think it was the bassist or guitarist, I couldn't really see who it was, doing the upper octave harmony. So I wonder what led to that choice, that style choice, because definitely in the original, he goes up the octave and sings with a lot of rasp. So, interesting choice. Amazing performance from everyone. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button down below. If you want to see more videos like this, check that one out. Check it out right there. I don't know. My fingers should be, yeah. That one right there is a good video for you. You'll like it. Check it out. Click it.